Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So, we finally had the S650 Mustang reveal at the Detroit Auto Show 2 days ago. Ford unveiled the 7th gen Mustang with 3 trim levels. We're expecting 2 trim levels, like a base one, like the EcoBoost and the GT, but Ford did surprise it with a 3rd performance-oriented trim. So in this video, I just want to talk about my thoughts about the reveal itself as I was there at the Detroit Auto Show and just talk about where the 7th gen Mustang is headed. So the 3 trim levels we're going to have for the 2024 Mustang is going to be the base one with the EcoBoost with a 2.3 liter turbocharged engine, which means it's going to have a little bit more power. That's what Ford is promising us, and a better fuel efficiency. We're also going to have a GT and the Dark Horse trim, which is the all-new performance trim level for the 2024 Mustang. Now, the EcoBoost is not going to be offered with the manual transmission because Ford said the take rate was too low for the base EcoBoost. So, Ford is going to be offering the manual transmission MT82, which is going to be revised for the GT trim level. And for the Dark Horse, we're going to get the Tremec. Now, me personally, I think it's nice to be able to get a Tremec version in the 2024 Mustang lineup. But since the Dark Horse is the performance variant, it is a possibility it's going to be a little too out of the reach. I personally would have liked to see the Tremec kind of trickle down to the GT trim levels and would have made a really nice competitor to the other muscle cars. As far as the EcoBoost receiving on the automatic transmission, I think that all makes sense because EcoBoost generally has been a car that people who want basically a cool car, but they don't really concern about the performance. So it's nice to be able to kind of just have an automatic transmission. 10-speed does an amazing job, keeps the car in the power band. And with the manual rate, take rate being low, I think it makes sense for Ford to kind of kill the manual transmission in the EcoBoost. Eventually, Ford might kill the manual transmission in the GTs too, but I don't think we're there just yet. Now, as far as the power numbers, Ford did not give the exact power numbers for any of these models yet, but it did say that we're going to get improved performance out of the 2.3 liter turbocharged engine. We're going to get 480 plus horsepower for the GT trim and 500 plus power for the Dark Horse trim, which is supposed to be the most performance-oriented Mustang for the 2024 model year. Now, of course, the Bullet and the Mach 1 had 480 horsepower in the Gen 3 Coyote. This is going to be the Gen 4 Coyote with a lot of minor tweaks. More importantly, this is going to have a dual throttle body and dual air intakes. So I would have expected to see the regular GT cross over 500 horsepower, while the Dark Horse probably getting close to 550 horsepower, which would have been really awesome. But for some reason, Ford is still holding back the GT, and it's promising 480 plus, but the fact that Dark Horse is going to be 500 plus, I have to say it's probably going to be 490 or so for the regular GT. It's only 10 horsepower. I know it's not going to make much of a difference, but just to be able to say that you have a Mustang GT with 500 horsepower in this day and age is an amazing thing. Now, I kind of want to talk about the Dark Horse trim, which is going to be the performance trim for the all-new S650 Mustang. I don't know why Ford decided to do the Dark Horse. I think it's nice to be able to have a new name in the pipeline as opposed to like a Mach 1, Boss 302, a GT350, a 500 for that matter. But part of the reason people get, special vehicles like the Boss 302 and the Mach 1 and the Shelbys is because of their name, the heritage, they retain the value so well. So it's not about just the performance, because you can get a regular Mustang GT, put a blower on it, get some suspension mods, and it's going to probably perform not exactly as close to the GT500, but it can do pretty well. But in the aftermarket, you're not going to retain your money, so when you go to sell it, you're not going to be able to recoup the money as you would if you had started from a GT500. So most of it is basically the names hold so much value to the Mustang brand that it makes sense. Now, the Dark Horse is a new trim level. It's exciting. It's very nice to have a performance-oriented model. It's going to probably be similar to its Mach 1, maybe a little bit better, but it doesn't have the heritage. It doesn't have any, history of being in the Mustang pipeline. So I wonder if it's going to be treated as a regular Mustang GT with some performance add-ons, or is it really going to be a collector item maybe down the road? I think me personally, I probably would have called the Dark Horse the Boss 302. It's been almost 10 years since we have seen the Boss 302. The last we saw was the 2014. Actually, no, it was 2013 when we saw the last Boss 302. So it would have been nice for the Boss 302 to make the return. Like Bullet made a return after 10 years. Mach 1 came out about 15 years or so. So Boss 302 is one of the established names in the household. It would have been nice for Ford to come out with the Boss 302 trim level right off the bat. Maybe they have a plan later down the line, because I'm sure they're going to have a Shelby variant for the S650 Mustang. But for now, we have to be okay with the Dark Horse trim level and see how it really performs. Like, numbers aside, I think it's going to be interesting to see how much value it's really going to hold. Now, I want to talk about the looks as well. So I know a lot of controversy has been going on. I was there up close, seeing the S650 Mustang design very up close, and kind of got a chance to, observe all the little detail that has been put from the design team at the Ford. Now, I have to say, this seems more of a evolution design of the S550 than a revolution design. So if you look at from 2004 to 2005 Mustang, it was a completely different body style. Same goes for when you're looking from 2014 to 2015 Mustang. It was a completely different body style. Here, not so much. It still carries some of the lines from the S550 Mustang, which nothing is wrong with, but you can kind of see those clues. You can kind of see the same body exterior, the tail lights, the headlights. They all kind of borrow from the S550 Mustang design language. You kind of build on top of it, which nothing is wrong with, like I said. But for people who already have an S550 Mustang, the temptation to buy the new one may not be as strong than it would have been if it was a completely new design Mustang, because even if the GT is making 480 horsepower, this is making 460, my one, I don't have 20 horsepower I can get from minor bolt-ons. And if it was a complete design change, then it's something that it would sell me over. But for now, I feel like I'm not tempted to buy the new Mustang just yet. Now, of course, the interior itself is one of the huge improvements we can see in the S650 Mustang. We got two massive touchscreens. We got a digital dash, basically, and we've got a 13.2-inch for the Sync 4 system in the cabin. I think the interior looks really good. It's very futuristic. I know the seats and the door panels kind of carry over from the S550 Mustang. There's some hard plastic in the infotainment center, but the screen is a really nice touch. I would have liked if Ford kind of kept all the HVAC controls to be controlled via like a physical buttons as opposed to doing touch screens. But I kind of get where they're doing. I feel they're setting the stage for the electric Mustang not too far from the future, because all the manufacturers are basically putting all these massive screens in their interior, and that's where the electric design is going. Like, all the EVs have that basically. So Ford doesn't want to revamp the interior again and go from there. They kind of have set the stage for the EVs, and if they do decide to offer an EV maybe 3-4 years down the road on the same platform, they have the interior set up for that, and they're just going to need to, obviously take out the engine, put the EV motors, and call it a day. I have to say, I kind of like the S550's design a little bit more in the interior side, because it just has more depth. Like, it's not a flat screen and that's it. The S650 looks like two big screens just kind of glued together on the dashboard, where the S550 Mustang interior kind of has all these angles going on, some depth going on, and it just looks a lot more nicer. Of course, I would love to have those massive screens that the S650 Mustang offers. But yeah, other than that, I think the overall design is very, very close to S550 Mustang, with some minor tweaks that really help enhance it from the exterior. Interior is definitely a game changer with those massive screens. I'm interested to see what they're going to come up with the pricing, which is not announced just yet. If they can keep the base GT under $40,000, I think it's going to be a good sell. But if Ford is moving the pricing a little bit higher than that, then we're going to have to see if it's worth getting the base GTs for $40,000 or so, without much of a performance improvement, because we still have a 10-speed automatic with maybe 480 horsepower, which is not too far off from what we currently get on the S550 Mustangs. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments below, what do you think about the S650 Mustang? As always, subscribe to Red 50 for more videos.